Hello and welcome to another history of Overwatch. We've done it, chat. We've finally made it to the Overwatch League. So we just watched the 2017 World Cup between South Korea and Team USA. And now that was pretty much the last major thing that happened before we headed into Overwatch League. And now we get here. So we have 12 teams. First match of the entire Overwatch League was Seoul Dynasty versus Dallas Fuel. It was like hyped up to be the match of all matches, because like at this point, everyone is either saying Dallas or Seoul's gonna win the entire first season of the league, which didn't happen. Some people did say London Spitfire though, because it was the coming together of GC Busan and Kongdu Panthera. So it was a good team, but for the most part, both of these teams were expected to be really good, and they just really weren't. But this first match had like so much importance. It was one of the most hyped matches I ever played in. I think I play a couple of these maps, but let's just get started. It's 2 hours long. We'll go down memory lane.
Between two Goliaths, Dallas Fuel versus Seoul Dynasty.
Oh man, there's Kooky on Seoul Dynasty. Me on Dallas Fuel.
The moment is finally here.
It's extremely hype. You remember the Blizzard Arena?
Hyping up all week. If you watched Watchpoint, you knew that all four of the experts on the desk said this is going to be the game of the week. The best of the West, Dallas Fuel going up against Seoul Dynasty, the greatest team in Overwatch history. Sideshow, you've been watching these players. You've been fired up for this match. What are you excited for most?
Just the continuation of two dominant storylines, one from Korea, one from the West, and they finally get to clash in the Overwatch League.
Stop, I'm gonna cry. Well, I love you guys. I love you, Josh and Brent, but we're not gonna watch their breakdown. Valiant! Gladiators beat the Shanghai Dragons. Oh boy.
Together and welcome the Dallas Fuel to the stage.
Yeah, Dallas Fuel! Timey!
Household names and fan favorites. Everybody watched them over in Korea. Taimu.
Back in the LA Supremacy days.
He's backed up by some incredible tanks. So much DPS power on this team, and I have to ask you, Sideshow.
Seagull! Custa! Harry Hook! Yo, look at this squad.
Strongest Western squad right now.
I would say that is undeniable, actually, and they have been the strongest Western team throughout the whole of 2017.
Damn boy, he thick.
This is a team with pedigree and so much talent on the roster. The teamwork, the strategies they come out with, they're so creative.
Are we supposed to hear anything? The vid is silent? Not really. Like, I can turn it up a little bit, but I don't like it overpowering the desk.
When they put in effect into
Let me slide out. Seagull.
There's a little bit of history now between Effect and the guys that'll be playing on the other side of the stage.
Oh yeah, for sure. So for anyone who doesn't actually know, Effect actually trialed for Lunatic High. This is the team that went on to become Seoul Dynasty. He trialed for the backup DPS spot, decided he didn't want it. He didn't want to be a backup DPS player, and trialed for that.
Back when the league was young and innocent, we're all just so excited.
Actually got the main DPS spot, so there's a lot of history now between Effect and this team that he
The goal.
joining in.
And we got a lot of people in the crowd fired up to watch this guy. Seagull is in the starting lineup. Is he going to be on far? Will we see the Genji? We'll find out in just a few moments.
Hand warmers?
Of course, we close out this lineup. There's a look at Custa. They brought in the Australian to help out in the supporting roles. We'll see what he can bring to the table in the first matchup. That is a look at Harry Hook, and that will round out the Dallas Fuel.
Oh, look at us. Dallas Fuel, we were so young, so innocent, so happy.
Overwatch history. Please put your hands together for our next team. It's the Seoul Dynasty.
Wait.
This squad is so
Dude, Fleta, the fucking 7-foot gaming warlord.
Seoul Dynasty might just be the best Overwatch team. They don't need any caveats. This team has
Oh, Miro?
core and base of teamwork. They've been able to be so successful even without the new talents that they've added to the roster. And they have
Wait, let me change my title.
unbelievable DPS players. I think Brent mentioned Fleta before as a guy to watch.
Yo, Fleta.
So we have so many people.
Zumba.
Who's their best player? I'm talking about what Fleta
Is Zumba still playing Valorant? I know he was early on in Valorant. I don't know if he's still playing.
I think that's gotta be Jaehong.
The Jaehong.
Actually, I can't really name another one. This is the man to watch out for. He is the unlikely star player as a flex support, the best stunner in the world. I think I'm just gonna throw that out there.
How did this squad not dominate? Well, the thing is, they dominated before Overwatch League, and Overwatch League was the coming together of a lot of talent, and there was a lot of players that, like, these guys were like the old guard, right? It's literally, this is, I don't want to be somber about this, but this is really the decline of Envious and Lunatic High. This is the beginning of the end, where both these teams peaked before the league, and then it just sort of like when the league started and everyone else came together, they sort of went down. Like obviously the players were all still solid, but it didn't get better from here.
That's really what I want to see.
Let's talk big picture here as we compare the West.
Miro, dude. You remember Miro? Miro was originally goated as like the Winston player.
See from both teams where their strengths, where the weaknesses.
Dallas and Seoul on their way back up. Yeah, but like I'm not really talking as much about the franchise. I'm more talking about the players, right?
So they can run almost any strategy that they can come up with, and they have deep in their opponent.
Like this was really exciting for me because like I had never played against these guys. I'd never played against Lunatic High, especially on stage. So like I never played against these goats.
They're agreed. I mean,
All right, let's go. Monty Dollar casting. All right, here we go.
on attack.
Get a little bit more serious here, and man,
What do we got? Quad tank from Seoul Dynasty versus what are we playing?
Hard to go wrong with the black and
Oh, I think we play Pirate Ship.
more Hanzo.
Do we play Pirate Ship?
For looks, we saw particularly Seoul Dynasty themselves play this on Junkertown attack in the pre.
I think we Pirate Ship.
You try and get a pick with the Widowmaker, and if you have that scatter arrow, it can.
How does Bren look so different, but Sideshow looks the same? What do you mean? Sideshow doesn't even have hair anymore.
Tanks as well. The Taimu on the Roadhog, and
So yeah, let's talk about this before we start. So the meta is kind of around. Well, I don't think we had gotten a major patch since we watched the World Cup. I don't think there had been a major patch. Mercy is very strong at this point. We still have the double res. We're in Moth meta. A lot of Mercy gets played. But something you will notice is that people just switch willy-nilly. It's not as much Overwatch these days where the compositions work together, and if you're going to swap compositions, you do it as a unit. For the most part, there's a lot of just random as switching. So we'll watch it from here.
on. Oh wow! Instant pull in. Well, don't want to peek that corner.
yeah, Miro does not survive the first 2 seconds.
Mickey Orisa.
As Dallas Fuel comes out screaming with this pick comp.
So one support, Harry Hook, who we know is a very good hit scan player. Obviously, we've seen him mostly on Soldier.
And there is no roll lock, obviously, yeah.
And it'll be time, of course, on one of his specialty heroes, Roadhog, and Effect. Who we typically see
Harry Hook, the DPS god, he has such good tracking. Harry Hook had such good tracking.
his flank.
So sneaky, another hook comes in as a dive from Soul tries to push Dallas back.
Oh my god, Effect is so free.
Takes on Harry Hook. Good start there.
The body shot bandit.
Really finding any finishing damage.
Oh, I'll res you, Harry.
Trouble, they found him now, and he gets taken out. It was sneaky. It was creative. Harry Hook taking a nap rather. Now taking a dirt nap as he flies off the cliff.
Someone help me! Thank you.
For the boop god. as
More
we-
boop for the boop god.
as we call Toby. Managing to get the kill. And the problem with this composition, though, you don't have a lot of healing, so if Effect misses those shots and doesn't get the kills, sometimes
I don't know about that dragon from the gull.
out-heal the opposite.
As you can tell, like, the game is a lot more flexible. Oh god, Hook. Is that Custa on Mercy? This is where I earned the big bucks.
Goal after that.
I think so. I mean, Effect backing away here too. They had to play it a bit safer. Munchkin finding the finishing blow there. Mickey pushing back in on that Orisa. Maybe they
Mirror down.
here with the kill on the Miro. Whole hog may pave the way for the
Easy clap. Here we go. Now we're moving. Solo Mercy? Yeah. Solo Mercy was stressful. But like everyone kind of, like the Roadhog just kind of stuck to himself, his own.
Zumba will be demacked.
A couple kills coming in at least. Custa does bring Seagull back, and Harry Hook, you might as well call him
There we go.
Soldier Bastion.
Custa, Carson, Custa. What great play by Custa here. Was this the Moth meta? Yeah. So this is before everyone, I think, really realized how strong the Mercy was. Like, people were still willing to play other comps. But I think as the season went on, people just started, like, locking Mercy almost 100%. Like, once I moved to Valiant, I don't think I ever played anything that wasn't Mercy. Maybe a little bit of Zen. But we very rare... Oh, and maybe a little bit of Lucio from time to time, but yeah.
There's a bit of a delayed sound barrier as we saw that.
Nostalgia time, yeah.
Cost sold a point. I think they had an opportunity to regroup and try and contest right before the.
Oh, scatter arrow! Oh, fuck me. Things that I don't want to ever see again.
By one was Harry Hook on this Bastion, who is now on the high ground. He has abandoned the payload. Does have a nice defense there from Mickey, though, putting up that Orisa barrier.
Dude, I don't think Harry has used the tank yet. Oh!
But he just can't be fast enough, and
Great graviton catching Mickey and Harry Hook as they fell off.
Bring Scatter back? That's spoken like someone who didn't play with Scatter. Scatter was the worst.
Stabilization is here now.
Alt refunds, yeah, alt refunds. If you
The effect did switch over to
I think alt refunds might have not. I think they might still be in the game actually at this point.
targets with Munchkin on the Zarya and Zunba.
Wow, they're gonna
Can Og move when vape? I'm not 100% sure if we're in that patch. Dude, Miro is actually just getting bullied.
barriers
Literally, he just goes in and just gets ulted and dies to somebody.
last very long, but that payload is finally moving for the moment.
Seagull's now on Pharah. I'm solo healing Pharah.
Didn't last long on that Pharah.
I don't know if I like the Pharah switch. Effects now on Reaper, which is kind of nice.
Jaehong's on it, that's for sure.
Jaehong, of course, one of the players who will continue playing that Ana. I think pretty much indisputably the best Ana player in the world.
True.
Harry Hook has been sitting on this ultimate for
Yeah, I don't know if we should still be on the Bastion at this point. I feel like maybe we should get a switch here.
ahead and
But he's still yet to use the tank.
on the
And we're gonna pop the tank anytime, Harry.
we saw him play in the
Any tankers?
finals, which NV won convincingly.
Yep. Good there, Harry.
Nope.
With another couple kills. Still has
I used to love solo healing Mercy, dude. Solo healing Mercy back in these days, you were so strong.
the very end where they needed to push through a point.
There was always so much to do. It was stressful as fuck, but it was good.
I don't know. Let's see how much Soul wants to commit to this defense here.
It does become a bit of a mind game too, because Toby's going to want to save that sound barrier.
Like, why didn't... Yeah. I don't know why he isn't tanking.
Sound barrier and play the game of chicken. You're actually winning in terms of
Oh, Miro again dying mid-dive.
Oh, man.
Option from this guy.
I didn't get him.
A couple times today already. Seagull has to be brought back up. Now the Bastion ult comes out. From
There it is.
See what he can get with it.
Yeah, first try.
Took down Zunba as well. Kills coming in on both sides.
trying to get
Payload
Toby,
is
but
so
they're going to keep it
close.
moving.
Easy clap. I was like, oh no, the Pharah died. And then I was like, never mind, I'm a Valking Mercy. Just
With that ability, and
up you go.
they
Shake it off.
too soon.
Miro is not having a good time.
And he was just shot straight out of the sky without getting a lot of the benefit of that sound barrier.
Custa dying if Leto all is right in the world. Some things never change.
Side of Dallas Fuel has that Death Blossom ready to go.
Alright, here we go. Effect Death Blossom.
Rage. Death is coming. See, if I was Reaper, I wouldn't announce myself like that.
This is
Wouldn't say anything.
yeah, he has to shout it though. Intimidate his opponents.
Death comes. I mean, I'm just a humble wombat.
Well, you know,
I'm a humble woman.
attention, Doa. So.
That is true. It's a cry for help. That's really what I think about when I listen to Reaper. So they're gonna demech Zunba and keep pushing here.
This Reaper character sure seems strong. I think this is lifesteal Reaper at this point, right? Yeah, I think so as well.
Harry Hook still on the Bastion. Just when you think you've run out of heroes to see this guy play.
Miro is straight up not having... Miro is straight up feeding right now.
Over on the Bastion.
There's no way to put it nicely. He is just straight up feeding.
They had to switch both of their support picks, and they're sitting at sub 40% ult charge as we speak. So when they're reaching the end of this map, Harry Hook's about to
Okay, yeah, you can move with your breather.
tank mode to go after.
Oh, Flutter Widow.
Fleta, though, with a big pick onto effect.
Don't worry, I got you guys.
Finding that hook. There we go. Got one. Pulls in the ult.
Oh, big? Yo, look at me go, rezzing everyone up as well. I so went up to them and pressed press D. Oh, oh yeah! Nice play. That was actually such a smart play by Taimu.
That's right. Taimu rejects Transcendence. He's going to stay the same forever on that Roadhog.
And there we go. This is the cleanup. They should be able to push this one out eventually. Have to get that D back, though.
I think it might be. They got to handle those respawns. But Zunba in Diva pilot form, not going to be able to do it for too long. And that, Toby coming in. And he gets
Wait, what?
Not quite.
Oh wait, Insta-Res was only in Valk?
Is it. So, down
Is that new?
3 left in the clock. Really solid time here on Junkertown.
I...
And
What was the Insta-Res?
for the field.
I think that might have been new, because I think it wasn't originally like that.
We're held up a bit.
I can't remember.
See how many strategies this team can run. Show me another Lucio player who's going to play.
Guys, look at the Pepe signs before they got banned, yeah.
Such a weapon.
Hey, there's my signature! Yo, look at this legendary signature. Look at how precise and clean this signature is, guys. Woo! Look at that bad boy. Okay, who has the best signature? Clean Chris signature? Yeah, this is before I fix my signature. What do we got? Seagull? Where's Seagulls? Oh, Seagulls is nice. It's simple. Soon with the arrow is classic. EQ heart. Honestly, everyone's signature is pretty bad at this point. I think everyone got better signatures as time went on. Not bad.
And if anything, you have to credit their coach Kai Kai and the management of this team as they became the Dallas Fuel Eagle. They've got a great
Ah!
He
Yay! Yeah! Yeah!
in XQC. Custa, he brings Moira play. He brings a lot.
Moira play.
And you can see he's getting pretty hyped up.
Man, I mean, when you take a round off of Seoul Dynasty like that, you deserve to be hyped up.
He's used to Aussie crowds. Get around him. Let's go.
See if they can set a better time.
Were you just a hype man? Yeah, I was the cheerleader that played Mercy.
Looks like Miro on the Reinhardt for the start of this one. I think Seoul's probably going to go back to that double sniper look we saw in the preseason. They were the ones who first showed off this strategy.
Right.
Looked excellent on it.
Why did the Pepe signs get banned? What ended up happening was that was right around the time that white supremacists like started using Pepes as like a way to get like lure children into their like or into like I guess sort of bring attention to. So what happened is they like the league banned it because higher up said they didn't want the league to be associated, even though it was an internet thing and it wasn't built by white supremacists. They didn't understand that, so they just banned it all.
To see more of Effect on the Widowmaker. Obviously, Effect is one of the very best players in the world, but that's been Taimu's.
You can get a Custa Out autograph cards on ComC for $5 to $7. Yes.
He didn't look great on the Widow in the preseason.
I have not watched the Pepe documentary. I've heard it's good though.
That's what we've got him on now. Jaehong on that Hanzo for the moment.
Custa Zen sighting? Oh, here we go.
Back to the Ano. So they are going with single swiper, or swiper, is this door? No, this is Overwatch. Single sniper and Reaper. Yeah, instead. But
Which player got fined for a Pepe tweet? I'm pretty sure it was XQC. But I'm pretty sure... No, actually, no. It became a big thing because Sinatra tweeted Phil's birthday man on his birthday. And they asked him to take it down. And I think a lot of people got upset about that. A lot of the players got upset about that. Oh!
And Fleta finds Effect as he wraps all the way around.
you line that one up. And Munchkin tearing apart the members of Dallas Fuel too.
No, I don't think anyone ever got fined for it.
Fleta finally free of the chains of his former teammates.
Yep.
Played on a bottom.
What do you think has been the most entertaining our season thus far?
Absolutely outstanding.
Um,
And now he has a chance to play with some of the
maybe the
best
most recent season.
players in the world, and the room they
I think it's been the best Overwatch we've seen. First season was pretty hyped though.
revolutionized his play.
True enough. Payload moving to the end of point A already.
Yeah, Prophet got fined, but he flipped off the camera. I feel like you have to get fined for that.
Effect under fire already. Ooh, gotta be careful though. Fleta takes a big hit there too. Looks for a pick. On to Toby maybe.
Okay.
Does go down though. Taimu found the pick. Fleta looking for a bit more.
Why am I in the backline?
And there's the
Reports
death
right
blast.
now, and Munchkin clean.
What? Wait, how did I end up in the backline?
Continue pushing forward.
Janitor of Overwatch strikes again. Reaper cleaning out the rest of that point.
And we see Toby.
Kind of, other sports do way worse. I'm pretty sure if a sports person flipped off the camera, you would also get in trouble. You're just not allowed to.
Not a very obvious
Like, intentionally, because it looked intentional. Prophet thought it was intentional.
to him.
It looked intentional, but yeah. Ryan Diva, Anna Mercy attack on Junkentown, my eyes. Just a true classic. What do you mean?
Exactly, this ult should go.
They're gonna nano the Widow and Fleta's gonna kill us all.
Munchkin lurking around the outside. Back to the middle there.
Simpler times. Legitimately, everyone just switched to whatever the fuck they wanted back then.
As many shots as we've seen in the past.
All right, Riptire coming through. They're going to back off and see if they can locate it.
Oh!
And he gets
Wow, that was a nice.
Kidding me? Can this guy do more impressive things, man? Every time I feel like I've seen the top Jaehong play of all time.
What reactions on that? Has a biotic grenade up, and there we go. It's Reaper time.
Nano Reaper, baby, let's go! Oh, let's, oh god.
Anyway,
Transcendence!
they are going to try to keep
Pop it!
forward here. Custa backing away as fast as he can.
Alright, good job, good idea not to pop it.
Should get a bit of push.
Good job, previous self. You're so smart.
Trying to save Mickey there with the whole hog. Managing
Oh, fuck my eyes!
time. Toby resurrecting his teammates, but there's a lot of Dallas Fuel members still on that payload.
Big Valkyrie, but not big enough as Dallas just fights right through.
Diamond hands on that ult until the last second. I don't even know why I transcended.
30 on the clock left for Dynasty. Rather.
Maybe I thought he was gonna prime Death Blossom. I don't know.
This is the time where we might see some adjustments.
Oh, what?
The Winston
Hello, Taimu?
will escape with his life, barely. And Taimu manages to get Miro somehow, hooking him in.
Oh, dude.
That's a nice little
Fleta is all over Effect right now on this Widow. Fleta was probably the best Widow at the beginning of the season. Oh,
back up. Taimu had the
Taimu says no though.
peeking around that corner.
Don't bring a sniper rifle to a hook fight. Apparently.
As the classic saying goes.
As my father always told me.
I think, I have to say, under most circumstances, I would.
Taimu was actually such a good, yeah, Taimu was very good at Hog. Like, it was like definitely one of his strongest heroes.
And then you just
His Hog was actually filthy.
breathe deeply and you're okay. You're fine at that point.
Was this still Hook 1.0? I think it's a little bit better, but it's not the current Hook.
Zenba takes on that steel trap, doesn't want to get caught anywhere near Seagull. Taimu with another whole hog. Oh, but there's the sleep.
Oh, Effect gets Fleta. Effect gets Toby.
Back though, getting all
Gonna kill everybody.
Easy clap.
okay.
Snaps on a couple headshots to Jae-Hong, or Toby rather, and Fleta, and that will cause Seoul Dynasty to peel back. Now, typically in this matchup, Doa,
No, Hook 1.0 because you can definitely vape. Oh yeah, you might be right. There's been so many iterations of Hook, it's kind of hard to know.
had all these different.
Custa had to get res. That's fine, it's fine. I was just playing aggressive, you know?
We saw Lunatic High primarily playing dive, but it was the adaptation in how they played dive that made the big difference. But so far, we haven't really been seeing a great adaptation from Seoul to deal with. what-
Yeah, we're all over them. They don't stand a chance.
Juicy target there on that Widowmaker, but
Look how good Dallas Fuel is. Yeah, Dallas Fuel are going to be the champs of the 2018 season. I feel good about this.
here we go. Now the dive comes in. Munchkin sneaks from behind with that Death Blossom. No kills, but a lot of damage and a lot of scattering of the members of Dallas Fuel. Can they finish a job? Munchkin dives down, gets the kill on Mickey. Gets kept up by his supports.
Yeah, both support ults used for Dallas right
What are
now.
these transcendences?
Committing to this engagement.
Oh!
They may actually be able to do it here. It'd be crazy.
They're gonna
Glad it
save
gets healed.
Fleta just barely, and with the tanks back on the card.
Trans? I don't know how I ended up outside the window.
It looks like that may have
Can you remember how the comms were in this match compared to since it built up to be a big deal? Yeah, everyone was definitely hyped up. This is a very hyped up match.
people back up at the same time, but a lot of big bodies in Diva and Winston still on the payload, and they can't burn through them fast enough before their allies come and reinforce.
It's been a great hold for Dallas already. Less than a minute remaining in the time bank for Seoul. But it looks like this point may soon go the way of the Dynasty.
Yeah, but look at the delay. They started out with a very fast time coming into point B. They're down to under a minute, so it has been a success. Mickey now on the Diva, so they have decided to forego a resupply altogether and be without.
Oh, Seagull
Clean.
gets two though. Big Riptire coming in.
Oh,
Maybe the
Valk Mercy.
to contest
A true classic.
The best thing about that was they forced Toby to use the Valkyrie with the Riptire.
It is big.
So that's another big stall, and they're still staying on that payload. They have not taken
The gull?
There is 15 seconds left.
This is using so much time. We may actually see OT here. Zimba gets a nano boost. Gonna go in on this Diva again. He's got the self-destruct. Takes out Taimu. Wants to save that ultimate. May not need it yet.
Back when getting 2 kills was not very valuable because the Mercy would just res it.
For Seoul Dynasty, nearly going into OT at the end.
But the price was so
Didn't
high.
both you on Plat Chat, you said both you and Soul kind of knew going into this that you were the best teams? Yeah, we were struggling in scrims. Like, obviously we know where we stand. Like, every team had scrimmed every team at this point. We knew where we stood. We weren't that good. We were like middle of the pack at this point. This is before we didn't think we were as trash as we were gonna be.
Jae-Hong over on the Zenyatta now. About as
But-
accurate as they come with those orbs. Fleta gets the kill on
Yeah.
the effect, so a good start for Seoul already.
It's like, we definitely knew what this was, like, both of these teams were not very good. Like, at least we weren't the top 2 teams like everyone thought we might be.
Shots into this low ground. He will find Seagull. He will get Harry Hook too.
And Munchkin is just
Classic AVA fights, yeah.
of Dallas Fuel on this Reaper right now.
And Mickey switching back to the Orisa. They need some sort of hard defense.
That's someone in Outlaw shirt saying "Let's go Fuel." That's back when like people used to support like 4 different teams. They would just change jerseys between maps.
That spawn is Fleta, but looks
Or
like
matches.
coming out the other side on Dallas. Dallas.
Oh, God.
Effect with the kill on the Munchkin already.
Get him, Effect!
For another one. It's the duel.
Oh, no.
It's gonna go the way of Fleta this time around.
No, God!
Munchkin, so
Scott, I'll fucking hide!
Riptire does claim Jehong though.
We got a trance. Alright, there's a good trance.
For Soul.
They don't have a res available right now. Finally using it. Okay, they got over.
Okay, wait, can we kill someone? Oh, God, run!
An OT though.
Death Blossom up here for Munchkin.
Oh, nice. That was a big hook.
Before he could use his ult.
Yeah, fuck you, Mirror.
For Taimu right there. Miro goes down as well, and it looks like Dallas may be able to take this map right
Yeah, Dallas!
Dallas Fuel taking down Seoul Dynasty
Woo!
on Junkertown.
And we are going to have a good match, though. We saw so many different strategies, so many different heroes, creativity.
Time to sub an XQC and lose. Now I'm getting subbed out.
Again, we'll see if they run the same roster of players in their next map.
This is the beginning of Effect being like, I was so bad, and everyone's like, no, you did good, and he's like, I'm so bad. It's like, bro, it's fine, we won. Should be better next map. We'll just like own next map.
What a start, and it is really exciting because not only do you see the skill level, we know the depth these teams have on their break and what
Easy clap.
You do. As a stud, it's still nice.
Alright, what do we got? Alright, we got some subs.
Made, and in our first,
Custa heading back to his home, the bench.
can't wait to see Blizzard.
I actually played a lot on Dallas in the end. I wasn't expecting to play as much as I did.
Later for me making that comment.
you know. I was hoping we get to see a little Jehong.
Yeah, we will be pushing composition.
Yeah.
A lot of meat here.
Alright, what do we got? The Lucio Mercy, Widow, XQC Orisa? Wait, did we miss the XQC sub in? 1 second, I think we have to go. Just fan favorite. Panda to the fans.
Nubis and knowing it.
They're pepping up the team.
There it is.
He's gonna stay
The
in.
juicer.
See some subs coming in for Dallas Fuel. XQC subbing in.
The
for
classic.
Seagull.
Seeds back to the bench, yeah.
Cristo in the support role. Chip Cyan gonna be subbing in for Custa this time.
And this is the thing about the Dallas Fuel. They will have a scout for Overwatch League and playing the
Wasn't Custa MVP like season 1? No. I was good on Valiant. I was not very good on Dallas. Honestly, my flex support I never really played very well in the league on flex support. I was never really happy with how I played.
later.
But then I went to Valiant and I played like a ton of Mercy and we did well, but...
This is going to be a slow pushing composition.
Where did Chips end up after Dallas? We don't know. Like, he's just disappeared.
The Diva and the Roadhog. So
They made him bigger. Okay, alright. The league did not make him bigger. He got somewhat bigger, but XQC does not owe the Overwatch League anything. XQC probably would have been successful regardless of the league.
Just going to heal up and build up their support ultimates.
Let's be realistic. XQC is bigger than the league.
With Harry Hook on that Lucio as well. So we'll see where
I hope he's doing okay. Yeah. Kenny, thank you for the 3 months.
Right now that Zunba is saving his
Why did 3 players play Mercy on your team already? This is the biggest issue that happened in early Overwatch, right? What happened was every team ended up having these deep rosters and everyone was like, we need to make value of these deep rosters. So what they did is they just subbed players in willy fucking nilly. And Dallas was like one of the worst culprits for this of like I said this on when we watched it on Plat Chat. I was on Dallas Fuel in the span of like one stage. I played flex support. I played Mercy, and then in this match I played Mercy, and then I played Zen, and then I went back to Mercy, and then I was the main support for a week, and then I went back to flex support for a week, and then Harry Hook went on to flex support, and then Chipsogen was the Mercy player, and then I became the Mercy player, and then Harry Hook wasn't no longer on flex, and our backline was just all over the fucking place, and no one ever really had consistency in a way that they could improve at the role. And we did the same thing with the main tank. XQC and Coco went back and forth from playing. There was like people all over the place. Like a lot of other teams did the same thing where they were trying to like min-max the value of players. That players just like ended up getting very scarce amount of time and just like falling behind. Most of the teams that really just stuck with a solid roster just won. And that's what a lot of teams do these days, right? You don't see anywhere near as many subs. And the teams that do subs aren't as successful.
Doesn't want them to get pulled off the high ground.
That makes sense. Yeah, you definitely don't want to lose that position.
Something just fell off on your wall. Oh shit!
Oh, but that's not good. Munchkin and Jehong already going
This
down. As Soul infiltrates the
this got
defensive
fucked up in the frame.
of Soul.
Wobble, wobble,
Dallas
motherfucker.
rather infiltrates that.
Epic, thank you for the 2 months.
For them in their point.
Not the Custagrius. Oh! That was a filthy shot.
Wow. I barely saw him in time, and Effect was already had his mouse on Fleta's head.
On subs these days, typically around maps, yeah. And people definitely don't play different roles. Like, there's very few people that play main support and flex support, right? Like, even this season, right? One of the only players that really jumped between roles was Violet, and he had a really bad season. And I think that is literally how it works. I think subbing players between roles is just very bad decision. No one is that flexible, and it's very hard to play multiple heroes at such a high level. Oh wow, you almost got it. Skewed kinda, not really. Skewed didn't really play flex support. He pretty much only played Brig. And you know, he's essentially a flex support player that plays Brig. We didn't see Skewed really play much Mercy or Lucio, right? So he's not really a main support player. He's more a flex support player who plays Brig. Jake played DPS and support too. Not really. Once again, Jake played Brig. Right? Like, you guys are generalizing. When one player switches to one hero for a long span of time, that's not like role switching around a lot, right? He switched for one hero. Like, Jake didn't even really play much DPS. He only really played Junkrat and played Brig. That's not like multiple roles. But back here, people used to play multiple roles. They used to play all the support heroes, not get as much effectiveness, and then like bounce around. Like, Harry Hook was playing DPS at some point. Wasn't Jake on Mercy? For a very short amount of time, Jake played Mercy, yeah. But even then, it didn't... Damn it, guys. But even then, it didn't work very well. Right. Well, we'll have to stick this back up.
This could be disastrous.
Oh my god, Effect.
They're 3 down, and there's a Reaper on the point already, Doa.
Oh my god, Effect actually just killed everyone.
In the faces of the respawns, Effect taking that position to handle them as they come out. Lots of damage.
Effect was pretty good at the game. Who would have thought?
Too long. That's 2 points already. Are you kidding me? Are they just going to take it right here, right now? They are. 6:14. 6:14 on the clock. I have almost never.
I can't remember if he lived up there. So, but the thing is, Harry Soldier was a thing before Owl, right? Like, Harry Soldier back in the day was nuts, but it didn't work anywhere near as well.
Zumba really dove deep there and got demeched and killed.
What a world record time. Oh my god, Smile. Yeah. Effect is actually just so nuts. We're booming them.
So that's a comforting thing for us.
So this is going to be a forward defense from Dallas Fuel. We saw this style of defense from London Spitfire.
Effect deserved better. He should have just left the team like you did. All right, first of all, he joined Envy. It was his decision. The way Effect worked was Effect actually tried out for Lunatic High and he got offered a bench spot, but he didn't want to play on the bench, so he went to Envy, had success. But I also didn't leave Dallas. I got traded. You can't just leave a contract. That's not how it works. But Effect's biggest issue wasn't him being on Dallas. Like, he probably should have ended up getting traded. He should have been traded. But he also just he had massive mental problems. Like, he just really struggled, I think. And I don't think joining a different team would have been the solution to that problem. I don't think it was like a Western versus Korea. Obviously, it didn't help. But I think he just couldn't play at the professional level.
Some pretty good performances on that here in the past.
Isn't Effect a streamer? He did a little bit of streaming, but I don't think he streams anymore.
He needs that upgrade.
He was, which is sad because he was one of the best mechanical players to touch the game when he played.
Trying to bust Dallas Fuel off this high ground here. Zunba does get demeched by QXC immediately. Effect chased off.
Did he just call him QXC?
Fleta going after him. He's the one who needs to get these kills. He's going to settle for a Harry Hook for the moment.
Were you the only Australian at that time? Yeah. Well, Mitch was in talent, but yeah. Are you allowed to request a trade? You can ask your team to trade you, but they don't have to honor it at all. Which has happened in the past. I'm trying to think of a player that's it's been public that happened. Oh my god, Effect is just straight up carrying Dallas. Has there ever been a situation where that's happened and it's been public? Like, there's been I will say there has been a lot of situations which I know of where players have asked to be traded and have tried to hold the team hostage, but I don't know how many of those are public. So I don't know if many of them are public. So try not to leak shit. It's not worth saying. It's not worth bringing up. Fisher? Yeah, maybe Fisher with Gladiators. Or wait, who did he do it with? He was on so many teams. Decay, yeah, okay. Decay is the biggest example, actually. Yeah, Decay is Decay on Dallas. It was an example of held the team hostage to ask for a trade. That's a great one.
Deals a bit more damage. I mean, right now, honestly,
Where like he didn't want to play for that team anymore, so he started like intentionally like not trying, and it was pretty public that he like wasn't trying and that things were going pretty poorly. Yeah, there were rumors that he skipped scrims. Like Crimzo was pretty public about it, about like his disdain for him, and that is because of that. It happens, yeah, it happens in major sports, yeah. Because that's the thing, like, it's not like, you know, traditional esports where you can just leave, right? Like, or esports before, you know, you're in the big leagues. You can't just leave. You are contractually obligated to play for this team. And you can't just leave and sign with a different team because if you, let's say in this situation, right? Dallas has gone to shit. I want to leave Dallas. If I leave Dallas and then I'm like, oh, I'll join the Valiant, right? Dallas still holds my contract. Valiant would need to buy the contract from Dallas. And then usually there are buyouts, there are things like that. So you can't just leave a team. The Rascal also had problems with Dallas, yeah.
Look at those ults though for Seoul Dynasty, sitting on 5 right now to the 2 of Dallas. So they're coming into this with a lot of momentum. This is their big chance to try to put
Dallas had problems with Rascal, yeah. There were definitely problems. It's never really been talked about, and I'm not going to talk about it here, but those are the kind of things that should just stay hidden.
Wow, that was a ton of damage coming in, and here comes Taimu with that Riptire. He's going to find some damage onto the Winston. Munchkin looking for some targets in the cave.
I think Dallas just had problems. I think Dallas was very poorly run. The problem with Dallas, in my opinion, the biggest problem with Dallas is they only had one coach, and that was Kai Kai. So it felt like Envy was trying to run on the old idea of like just have one coach, but then Kai Kai was the only coach, but then he never really had time to coach because he was more doing manager things and he was trying to control players, and especially when things started going wrong, players are getting upset, players are thing, people aren't working well together, all that kind of stuff, and it just felt like there was just not enough support for the team to function. When did Jane join? Season 2? In Season 1, they did pick up Peak, but Peak didn't really help. And I think that was kind of like a little too late. Yeah, Arrow and Jane was Season 2. So for the most part, it was only Kai Kai who was the thing. And Kai Kai just, you know, I think he understood the game. Obviously, he used to be a player and like he had coached for a bit. But I just don't think he understood how to deal with like 10 players. Like, think about how many egos are on this team as well, right? We have Envious, probably one of the best teams pre-Owl to play the game. Then we have Effect, someone who is probably one of the best mechanical players to touch the game, but has mental problems and is Korean. And he's playing on an all-Western team outside of that. You have XQC, who, you know, has an ego in his own way, as you can imagine. I have an ego, like I want to play, but like, you know, like everyone's trying to like put in their 2 cents. And then you have Kai Kai, who also had an ego. It's a lot of people who have a lot of egos and a lot, like, I guess a lot to lose in one place. And then all of a sudden that team starts hardcore failing. Like, you can understand why it sort of broke down. And then the idea of the solution that Dallas really had and Kai Kai and management had was to sign new players, right? Like, that's when they signed AKM, they signed Rascal. There's Seagull as well. I forgot Seagull. Like, yeah. So it's like all of a sudden you just start throwing more players into the mix, more situation, things start getting worse. Everything, no, it's not working. It just gets worse and worse and worse. And you can understand how it sort of spirals out of control into what happened to Dallas Fuel in Season 1.
Worries me a bit because it hasn't changed when it comes to their positioning or their.
What would you have done personally, having known what you know now?
Effective against this.
Yeah, I mean, when you go back to this sort of high ground.
I don't think I don't think I personally could have done a ton different. I think it was, I don't think anyone really knew what we were signing up for. As I said, I think they just needed more coaches and more support staff. They needed more people to control a lot of people. Join Valiant? Yeah, I did get an offer from Valiant before I got an offer from Dallas. And I decided to go with Dallas because they're going to win, right? So, yeah, I don't know how you fix this problem. I think they just needed to be more ahead of it. demand playtime as a main tank? No. Like, as I said, I wasn't any better than this team. Like, I was also struggling on Dallas. I didn't really play very well on Dallas. But I think it goes back to the fact that no one was really put in a position to succeed on this team. Everything just felt like we're just getting overwhelmed, and oh my god, everyone's getting better and we're just not really doing a lot.
Interestingly enough, gets chased off the high.
Yeah, and a lot of teams dealt with that as well, Dionysian. Like, a lot of teams really, a lot of teams really struggled from just not having the support systems to set up. Because remember as well, it's not like we have it now where teams play, how many games did they play this year? 16 games? We played 40 games. You played 2 games every week with 1 week off between stages. So you never really stopped. There was no moment that you could press the reset button or take a breath to start over. Once you started going down on a downward slope, you just kept going. Like, there was no time to just like, okay, let's like focus up in scrims and that kind of stuff. By the time we finished our last match on Sunday, our next match might be on Thursday. So we have 3 days off. You generally take 1 day off just so you have 1 day off. And then you have 2 days to scrim to fix everything that just happened. And remember, we're not playing like set metas. Like, this is back when, like, think about how many heroes have been played so far in this match and how many players have played it.
From the Soldier 76 and try and fight on that on the initial dive. This time around, though,
Was there ever a point you legit hated the game? No. The only time, I never hated playing Overwatch. The only time I didn't want to play was towards the end of Season 2.
take a look at Miro's perspective right here.
After getting benched in Stage 1 and like just sort of like everything that went around the team going 0-7, I think my passion reduced for the game. I didn't want to put the excess hours into the game over and over and over again. And I think that's why I retired. Is like, we did pretty well outside the 0-7 in Season 2. We did pretty well, but personally, like, I never, like, it was just about, oh, nice kill. It was more just drive than anything that I lost.
He's trying to get as much time as he can.
Yep, that's right. Just trying to buy as much as possible. Yeah, Munchkin brought up.
Is this just, hey, I think this hero will work? Yeah, and like, obviously you have like a template of what you want to play. Oh god, we're just fucking falling apart. And yeah, obviously you have a template of like, if they play a ton of tanks, we want to play Reaper. You know, Junkrat's good in this situation.
One more chance to get down to the point and try to push this back, but XQC.
Do you fix FPS issue? Not sure. I haven't really been playing Overwatch.
3:18 still left on the clock for Seoul after they get 4 points.
Dude, we're gonna blow a 6-minute overtime lead.
And this is where
The 40-match season format didn't help. Yeah, and that's, as I said, that was one of the biggest issues. And they've actually learned, something that Overwatch League has actually done a good job of, is they've learned from it, is the problem that they had 1 week between stages, right? There was like a 1 week gap where they were like, oh, here's your 1 week, except for between stages 2 and 3, there was a couple of weeks. There was a 1 week gap, and they're like, oh, players and teams will just take that 1 week off. No, they didn't. Every team just scrimmed through that week. So it's like between stages 1 and 2 was just a never-ending cycle of just scrimming and playing. And the Blizzard Arena, as much as it looks nice on the forward, the offices that we played in were windowless. We were in this windowless hallway where all the team rooms just... think of a long hallway, right? And there's just team rooms on either side. And just players were there 100% of the time, no windows. You would walk in the morning at like 11 a.m. and you would leave at nighttime. And that was what you did. So that's why players got depressed and... Never scrimmed in the team houses. People didn't have team houses. Most teams played out of the practice facility because that was like, it was what was going to be available. It was most convenient. There were only a few teams that played out of houses. Philadelphia Fusion, Los Angeles Valiant. I'm trying to remember because they had an in-house server. So every now and then you had to play on online servers to scrim. And that was only really against Philly and Valiant. Almost everyone else practiced at the Blizzard Arena. Now I get why people retire after 2 seasons. And that's it, right? It's like, as soon as you don't want to do it anymore, like as soon as you lose that drive to be the best, like you're just like, I don't want to do this anymore. Like it is your life. Houston practiced at the facility. Shock also practiced at the facility. I know because Houston, Shock, and Dallas all stayed at the same apartment complex and we all Ubered towards the Blizzard Arena every day. Spitfire had a house at the end of the season. I think they played. I know they were there for most of the season because obviously we just saw each other. Like we're all just around. Shanghai lived there. A part of me, I think Shanghai actually lived there for some time. So they would not be allowed to go home. How was the catering? Each team did their own individual catering. So some were good, some was bad. Yeah, the Shanghai situation, they were not put in a situation to succeed.
And once they figure out a strategy, they can change their execution. And they saw the same thing from Dallas Fuel. It's very difficult to beat the core of this roster if you're doing.
Some were ordering Chipotle every day. Yeah, literally, that was.
So now talking about
It was a hard time. Like, obviously, it was awesome, right? Like, you see the games on stage, it was awesome. But these are the kind of things that you don't see. And that was one of the things that I found really interesting when I got into it. Because obviously, I had watched esports since I was like 16.
they need to move fast.
So at this point, I'm like 22, 23.
Instant point take for Seoul. That was a
So, like,
because you could do it.
it's interesting what you learn. Like, the glass shatters a lot once you start to get into that space of, like, it's really hard to be a professional esports player. Like, obviously, when you're on stage, those are the best times. But everything outside of that can be really hard and really draining.
Full dive composition on the defense. So I think they're suspecting that the slow.
I think it's gotten better. Overwatch League has done a lot better in terms of like making things that work. Like I think a lot of the teams live in a much better situation. You know, people live in team houses or apartments. They have their own space. They make sure they have good situations. So I find it ignorant for people to say that playing a game for a living must be all fun and an easy job. It's a great job. It's not an easy job at all. Did they look concerned about health players get better in season 2? Yeah, it's been getting better year after year. People learn from all these mistakes, right? And this is the first time, remember, like, this is the first time in esports a team had ever... Wow, that just worked really well. We just ran a point. This is the first time that there had ever been an international event where gathering where people lived there for a season, right? You could have been in Boston season 1. What do you mean? Boston in season 1 was a good team, but their setup was really bad. I heard that the Boston setup was kind of bad. I think they had bunk beds. I think that was... I don't know. Don't quote me on that, but I'm pretty sure they had bunk beds. But I think a lot of the Korean teams did as well. I would never live in a bunk bed.
So the thing is, they didn't see any defenders on the high ground, so they're like, oh, you guys are playing dive. Okay.
Goodbye, Fleta. Time on fire right now. Popping that whole hog needs a little bit more. Munchkin finds the kill anyway.
Does Blizzard plan to go back to the Blizzard arena? No, it's not their arena, right? They just leased a studio. So the studio doesn't, I don't know, it's probably being leased by someone else.
Seize control of that point.
This just keeps on going. Effect still has that angle. A hook on the side. Toby.
Dude, Effect is just straight up carrying.
Bad point, but it's nearly done.
Fleta can't dislodge Effect. He loses that duel again. Transcendence for J-Home, just trying to buy time for more of his team to respawn. Another attempt at that with the Primal Rage from Miro on that Winston. Doesn't matter though, the kill still coming in for Dallas. Taimu misses a hook, but they've chased the Winston back again.
They have, but they're still not getting this actual point.
Well, that was a bad.
Come in with the Dragon Blade, but he gets picked off by Taimu.
That's right. Munchkin just being as annoying as he can. There's Zimba with all that health on the Diva mech.
There he's killed by a pulse bomb.
Fleta didn't feel that good until he joined Shanghai Dragons. Nah, I disagree with that. Fleta's always been really good. He was really good in the first season. Like, really good in the first season. Soul was just not very good. Well, Sombra just released. No, Sombra had been around for a while. Smile.
This is where we see the high quality Overwatch.
Oh my god, 4-4. Oh my god, Fleta's going crazy. What just happened?
For that perfect opportunity for the dive, and now it's gonna come in. All right, they're gonna go.
These comps are so weird, yeah, and you can just see how variable they are. Like this, they're just playing dive here.
On this defense.
Yeah. All right, Zimba D-Mac.
The Harry Hook DPS. Oh! 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 Oh my god. Yeah, see, Fleta's been pretty good for a while. This is Health Pack Sombra. No, this is not Health Pack Sombra. Health Pack Sombra doesn't exist anymore. I'm pretty sure that got patched out in 2017. Otherwise, people would be playing it on Temple of Anubis.
Could get dived easily, but Soul takes a step back, They look at that defense and then they call.
Well, we'll find out. Time is on the Sombra, but I don't think it works. Like, I don't think health pack Sombra is a thing. They patched that pretty quickly after teams started playing it. If you see the Sombra's ult charge chunk up, then it's still in.
So there's your adaptation from Dallas, but will it be enough?
Oh, there it is. No, you're right. You are right. Wow, I didn't realize that was still a thing. What's health pack Sombra? The way it worked is that Sombra would get ult charged based on the amount of health that a hacked health pack would give someone. So on Temple of Anubis, what you would do is you would hack this health pack under here, and all your tanks would just route through it, right? And then Sombra would get EMP really quickly, right? Like Taimu, like let's show you how dumb it is. Taimu switches to Sombra at 236. All right, we gotta. So you can't really do anything until about 252, right?
Everybody
Again from Dallas, but
try and hack.
At 229, so 20 seconds, he has 70% ult charge. So what happens is every time a tank would grab the Mega, he gets about 20% ult charge.
The EMP's up as fast.
And it's just really dumb. You just get super fast EMP. I didn't realize that was still up.
good target selection from Fled.
Dude, Fled is actually owning. Oh, wow. Good play by Harry.
Oh, the mercy, but he can't quite do it. Dallas coming
Lip does that, though, yeah, in a different way.
and it looks like
It was a really big meta the year before this moment. Like, every flex support, including myself, had to learn how to play Sombra, because what people would do is they would play solo heal.
But the execution.
It was like solo heal Lucio, and then your flex support would play Sombra, and you would just churn through EMPs.
And now time
Because you just get an EMP every fight.
EMP as we
Quick, thank you for the 3 months. Loving this series. Hey, I'm glad you've been enjoying it.
ability out, play around it.
that's right. EMP available too, or rather, Valk available for chips too.
Dude, Fleder is... This is literally just Fleder versus Effect.
If that goes down too.
Everyone else is just existing.
Right now, waiting to use that Dragon Blade.
Oh, shit, Harry's so close to Transcendence.
EMP it was used.
Taimu gets Munchkin, but not a whole lot else.
That was a pretty good fight for us, though.
Chips is in Valkyrie, getting his team healed
Gets
up.
Harry.
Not a lot of members on the point.
Harry has the Transcendence as well. He has to save for the blade. Nice.
There's the Dragon Blade.
Good trans by Harry.
That Valkyrie swinging wildly, but getting booped away, getting battered away by XQC on that Winston. Fleta gets nothing.
This fight's pretty crazy, actually. Oh, Harry dies still.
Back off for the moment. Harry Hook falls.
This is Moth meta? Yeah, this is Moth meta.
Yeah, man, it's all Munchkin right now.
Yeah, Route 66 was another Sombra point too, yeah.
To come back in, that's going to be the first tick for them on point B. Taimu trying to buy as much time as possible. Gets out for the moment, just trying to stay alive, waiting for the respawns.
Yeah, super hard to stay alive even on that Lucio.
Ooh, yeah.
Somehow we have Harry Hook finally going down. May is out. The stall tactics are coming in.
Oh, good eat by Mickey.
Time and he did. Chips taken out with the pulse bomb right after that ice block ended. And Soul looking
2 CP, baby. This is before the changes. These changes came in not that long ago. But the changes where your respawns would get longer if they're standing on the point. That doesn't exist in this game right now.
Fleta with another Dragon Blade.
If they can just push it to OT, that would be
So, like, yeah, like, Chipsogen is on fucking May of all things, right? Like,
while staying alive somehow with one health before he finally goes down. Nice kill on defense.
No.
That's going to be it. 11 seconds. OT.
Yep, they didn't. And very may well.
this map was fucking stupid.
To fuel.
We both sucked so hard at DPS, at defending.
Better than what we've seen Dallas do.
Like, all negated, yeah.
You know, it hasn't really seemed to stop either team, no matter what they've been running into.
Dallas had a great answer last.
They're just gonna let us in? Alright, where are they? Don't just rush the point. They're all on the high ground. Take the other high ground. Take the other high ground. Take the other high ground.
A little bit of damage on your tank, so you get some of that support ultimate built up.
Straight up the middle again. At some point, Soul needs to drop
Have to
down.
fall down.
XUC did not make it to the point.
Here, effect does fall.
Munchkin got effect.
They're getting those kills. That's the big part. Taimu.
Shit, Custa's playing? No, I'm not in this map. I played the first map.
Blood is on the back. He actually set up a crossfire. So look at the differences in positioning that we see from the Dallas Fuel in this fight. Munchkin, more patient,
Mickey.
waits to find specifically effect on the back line.
Prevented 10 CP, yeah.
Sets up over the back so they can create a crossfire between the
Were you pissed you subbed? No, it was really common during this time.
on the far side. Great positioning.
I will say, I think every map I play on this match, we win.
More time. Let's check that replay. Fleta again, like you said.
Oh, you can headshot Fortify.
Option.
Oh, Fleta.
There's nothing really Dallas Fuel can do to stop
Like you didn't really get frustrated when you got subbed out, like because the thing about it is like you're not really subbing in these matches. You're not really subbing based on performance. You're subbing based on what you've practiced. So like I know what maps I'm gonna play going into this match.
Effective this time.
Speaking of effective, there's Effect himself.
Custa him.
Himself trying to stay alive, can't quite do it. Miro with the finishing blow. XQC hiding in the little room off to the side here. Still.
It's more just rotating. Not really rotating, just yeah. Map specific strategies and plans. So the reason I played, I don't know why I played over chips on Route 66. Like it doesn't make sense, right?
Seoul Dynasty still
Was it because, yeah, I think the reason Harry is, I don't know why me and Chips essentially played the same thing at this point. We were both Mercy Zen players. So I don't really know why me and Chips switched around. There probably wasn't a good reason. Really, they should have just played Chips, but Chips actually really struggled in Owl. I wonder if it was just like the lack of practice time and that kind of stuff, but like Chips before Owl on Zen was a nut job, but he never really had a great performance. Like honestly, both me and Chips never ended up being very good Zen players in the Owl.
Tried to punish that Mercy, but not gonna find it.
Was that Chipsa? No, different Chipsa. This is Chipsa Jun, who is a flex support player, played for Envy. Different to Chipsa, the Doomfist player.
looking for shots and he's so far away. Again, all Dallas can do is try to avoid these shots. They can't really punish him right now.
They have to get on the point to start contesting it is the problem. Toby actually kills Effect.
Okay. Some headshots coming in, but again, Fleta may just have to watch his...
Wow, Mickey lost his mech for that. That was tragic.
Maybe not. Mickey D-mech, XQC low.
Before the match, no, you could do your subs between maps. So as soon as the map was decided, you put in your like subs.
They gotta get that shield up. There's the supercharger as well to help. Doesn't last long as Zunba takes it down. But
This is such a weird fight. Oh god.
but as I say that, Taimu falls.
I don't know what happened to Chips.
May just reclaim it fully again.
I know he just sort of like fell off the face of the earth.
Next shot comes from Chips being closer to that Valkyrie. They can get it rolling. They might be able to do something. They're switching everything up right now. Taimu on the soldier.
I want you to rewatch season 1 stage 4 finals. Yeah, like we're almost certainly gonna watch that. Of course we're gonna watch the time that I won. Okay, it's my series. Of course we're gonna do it. It's not a very interesting match. It really isn't. It's not very informative. It really isn't. But I won. So we're gonna watch it because it's my series and you can't stop me. But yeah, we'll get there in due time.
Fleta's been hitting this match just insane. Another kill onto Effect here. And man, when it comes down to it,
I gotta work out what match I want to watch next. But yeah,
for Seoul on this map.
Who would have thought, but
holy shit, Fleta. Yeah, Fleta was pretty good at the game.
it's better with Fleta, as we might say.
It's better with Fleta. Can't argue with that. Nice shot on
Who is the player that lives in the woods with his grandmother?
Man, Fleta just looks
Shit. Someone will get it. Snillo. Yeah, Snillo. He played for Philly. And he like barely ever played, except for like at the end of stage 1, where he just like fucked on Tracer and then just left. Just disappeared. I think he still has some of the best stats.
to these headshots coming in from Fleta. I think this round and this map are over.
Waiting for somebody to peek right there.
Played Deadlift became a thing in season 1, yeah.
A little bit of healing coming in. If he can get the Mercy kill, that's big. Chip's still alive. There's a dive. Fleta on the run. Backs off. Tries to find it. Oh, we can't get the Mercy in time. But
Why did Taimu go to Soldier?
Pulse bomb onto Taimu. Chips pops that Valk, gets his DPS up again.
This fight is actually such a brawl.
Coming in. Can the response from Toby be
Double res from Toby into a transcendence. Nobody ever dies. Okay, here we go, baby. Here we go. Oh, I don't know why he dashed. That was not a good dash. Oh, there we go. Get him.
Toby? That's big. He gets Jae-Hong as well. Both supports out of the way. A 5-player kill streak already on the slate for Effect. And that may be it. Dallas Fuel, they're into OT, but they are not out yet.
That was pretty good. Effect was a very good player.
Sound barrier though, because they've got 30 seconds, and that could have been it. They are
Get back to point faster? Well, I don't think that's what he was doing.
Swaps coming in.
5-player kill streak. Oh my god, he's insane.
Needs to sleep dart Taimu.
What?
All right, this attack has to go perfectly. If they're going to have any chance, XQC waiting for that primal rage. 10 seconds remaining in the time bank. It's now or never for Dallas. They got to make something
Get
happen.
Jae-Hong, baby.
XQC onto the
Get him.
hop. Doesn't quite get it. Oh, but Taimu takes down Fleta.
I think he should have primaled that. I think he guarantees the... I guess he's worried about the sleep.
Dallas to position themselves on the point right now. Taimu fighting for his life.
Oh, Taimu, don't chase it.
The Lucio
You have so much to live for.
OT again, but that's one tick already. Munchkin falls. Dallas looks like they may have the position to do this.
Someone kill the Lucio.
It'd be crazy if they can pull this this off. They've got the numbers. They've got J-Home down.
Taimu is just lost in the sauce right now. Damn, we should have. Dallas should have won that. I don't know how no one ever killed. How did no one ever kill Toby? It's kind of ridiculous that Toby never died.
Toby right now, the Lunatic High Core, they need to save their team.
He just cruised by Taimu. Honestly, true. XQC's doing so much work here.
Dallas cannot afford to do it.
XQC has another primal, or did he just never use the primal?
Can he buy the time with
gotta
that
be the
primal
hero.
rage?
Taimu falls. XQC backs away and he can't get to the point. Seoul Dynasty will
Woo!
tie this series.
The 6-5 Temple of Anubis, a true classic.
Man, you know, you got.
You see that again this time.
It looks, at least at first blush, like we will see Fleta
C9.
Aura coming in. So
Alright, what team we got? Okay, so we got the XQC chips set up again.
So far, and Taimu may be taking the reins of the Widowmaker.
Okay. Who wouldn't?
Have professional Overwatch. This is what great gameplay looks like.
Dude, this is about its
XQC Hog, legendary. Nah, he's playing Winston. XQC only really played a lot of Winston. Like, he was considered like the Winston player for this team. Because Coco's Winston wasn't great.
And they actually killed Miro immediately.
So XQC was the Winston player, Coco was kind of like the Orisa player. And that's why it was a really big problem in Season 1, because XQC kept getting himself suspended. So what happened is every time he got suspended, Coco had to play Winston. But then Coco didn't really want to play Winston, he wanted to play Orisa. So therefore, like, it really fucked with like our strategies, with like a couple of things.
Trying to make a difference, trying to put Dallas on his back and carry him. This is that pulse bomb, but he does a little bit of damage anyway.
Gonna go ahead and recall the
Why was he getting suspended? He did a couple of dumb things. He got suspended the first time
So finding the positioning
for
aggressively and trying
the Muma comment,
that position by Miro's gorilla.
and he got suspended the second time for the try hard thing.
Something good happens to the player.
I think those were the two reasons he got suspended. He's just said some dumb shit.
Tries to salvage that receiver.
The first one was homophobic and the second one was racist. So it's like,
Corner of the roof.
it was kind of dumb.
An optimistic barrage from
XQC had no filter. I remember being in the room when XQC tweeted the tryhard stuff, and he was like, I was like, bro, you can't do that. You realize what you're doing is wrong. And he's like, no, it's fine, it's funny. I'm like, it's not gonna be funny. People are gonna get upset. And he's like, no, it's fine. I'm like, and he got it. And then I think that was the last try. I think he got kicked out of the league after that.
Shooting into the point from the far side.
Wasn't Reinhardt in the game? Very beginning? Yeah, but Reinhardt wasn't played that much, I don't think, at this point.
Well, you can't really get on a point and hold it with fire, but you can put in a lot of damage from the side.
Oh, God. This is such a bad fight. This fight feels like it's been going on forever. Taimu's on the Widow now.
Yeah,
Want
but
it more, but
yeah, that was not the positioning you wanted when you have that sound barrier.
I don't know why Prophet didn't get banned, because it was inadvertent.
in the meantime,
He got fined, but... Oh, good boot.
see ya. Say goodbye.
So that more.
There's also the severity of what XQC said to flipping off the camera is very different.
So long that they're nearly at 80%.
If his intention was to flip off the fans, then yeah, it would have been a problem, but it wasn't his intention.
Flip it here. They will
Thought he typed it in Twitch chat?
building,
It was a tweet, yeah.
83% for Seoul Dynasty.
Both Valkyries available, so a quick pick on a Mercy could mean the difference in this upcoming team fight. In fact, has his pulse bomb. And he's just trying to make sure there aren't going to be anybody jumping.
So when the league is fighting, it's just like, it's important to set a precedent of you should be fighting and suspending people that do things wrong, right? Like, literally, like, that's how they've always done it. People just stop doing that shit because people get fined and suspended, right? Like,
And he's going to want that one back again. Trying to chase down the support.
oh no. Taimu really shouldn't be on Widow, I don't think, at this point.
Which brings him back up right away.
Both players resurrected, so the show isn't over yet. Chip Hyatt actually manages to get a kill on the Fleta, going for that battle for the XQC.
Oh, down.
Knocked off.
Down without his leap.
The tryhard thing was a Twitch chat thing with really bad timing. That is 100% not true. If that's what you think it is. What happened was people were spamming tryhard in chat every time Malik was on camera, which is racist because you're spamming it whenever it's just racist. Regardless, like that's just the way it is. Malik, and it's fine. Malik goes on the broadcast and says, "Hey guys, just so you know, what you're saying in Twitch chat is racist, and I would appreciate it if you guys didn't do it, any man. Just don't do it. That's all he said. He was very forward about it on the broadcast. It obviously go ahead from the league, and he said that. And then what happened was XQC decided to treat out Tryhard in response to Malik's comment, and that is why he got suspended, and I think that's why he got removed from the league, which is just racist. And like, you can't argue that. You know, regardless of what you think of XQC, that's just racist.
Now look, they're in really good position. Zunba can still zone people off and remech with that self-destruct, so Soul should be taking this.
Trying to get back in. Last ditch effort here from Harry Hook on that Lucio. If anyone can do it.
Like, I don't, like, XQC legitimately didn't believe that's what he was doing. Like, as I said, I was talking to him about it at the time, but that's the way it comes off. So.
From Seoul Dynasty.
Additional.
All right.
Welcome to Well. Dallas Fuel with a chance to tie things up. If there's any map, any round you want to be a Lucio on, this is the one. And Toby and Chips this time, ready to go. Interesting. Okay, there we go. I was confused there.
All right, let's move on. Let's move on. I just wanted to clear that up because people was like saying that it was like a Twitch chat thing. No, that's how it went down. So I don't want to talk about that. Let's move on. Focus back on the game.
On the Zen, Chips on the Mercy.
And interestingly, Mickey will be on the Roadhog now. The hero we've seen Taimu play this match, but they've got to have somebody to play that junk. So Fleta gets a quick pick as he knocks Taimu off the map.
Toby can't live.
We just have like no solution to this Fleta Farah. It's just existing in.
Are going to get rolled up here. How many will die on the backside of this engagement? Zunba will reset while they force Dallas Fuel back. So giving him some time to go ahead and remix.
Does anyone else remember when Taimu took a dump and Seagull got to play? Yep. I was there for that.
It is interesting to see them.
That was a bad decision. And that, like, I think that's like one of the things, like, it was just an endless string of bad decisions about a couple of things.
I think you have the Orisa here and the McCree to help deal with the Farah. For the most part, Flood has been playing
Like, Seagull and Farah, like, Diva was a legitimate thing, but like, yeah, it was, as I said, it was a string of bad situations that ended up leading to that.
Death from above for you, drops like a rock.
Time on Monkey at the end of the season, yeah.
Or the Dallas roster, and immediately gets the barrage with a couple of kills.
It's a melee Farah. You don't see that one very often.
And now we're already up to 40%. Taimu be walking back in with a rip tire. He can manage to get it high enough in the sky. Maybe he can go ahead and take out Jae-Hong.
He put the work in on Diva and showed, yeah. Like, we talked about this a couple of weeks ago, but like, Seagull put a lot of work into getting good at Diva, and he was. He did a really good job of role switching in the middle of a season and actually had, oh, nice, and had success. The classic. Dude, how many times is Munchkin going to get hit with that old chestnut?
Ooh, nearly finds the kill onto Toby there.
Drive-by resurrection.
Fly-by.
Fly-by resurrection.
Maybe don't play Junkrat? Yeah. Oh, what do you mean? Junkrat works great against Farah. Right there.
Grenade.
Nobody expects the air-to-air Junkrat.
And so, Dallas slowly making their way, but again, it's so hard
Like,
for them
it feels like these fights are just one long fight in which Dallas is never winning. You know what I mean? It just feels like there is never a reset. Everyone's just consistently fighting, and Dallas just doesn't have the point.
Seoul Dynasty is they just delay long enough. I mean, even if you're winning a fight, they just manage to hold on so long that look at this. Seoul Dynasty already nearing 99%.
Fleta still, he's,
Seagull was a bit overrated. I think Seagull was good, but like, people who think that Seagull was like one of the best players in the league is just not true. Like, Seagull was good. He was a solid player. He was good on DPS. He was solid on DPS, especially like flex DPS, like your Farahs and your Junkrats. And his Diva was really solid. As I said, I give praise, but he wasn't one of the best players in the league, or in his role.
While there was, I believe Mickey did pull somebody in.
Like, there was some crazy, like crazy flex DPS players like Fleta and stuff like that, and Prophet.
Kill gets one with his ult before he goes down. Toby brought back up again, and now it's on.
Oh, Miro!
may not matter though, Doa. May not.
Seagull was good in the early days of Overwatch, like really good. Like, Seagull was legitimately one. Oh god, Toby. Seagull was one of the better players in the game when the game first started. But yeah, obviously that's a long time.
That one stings a bit. Toby going wild on this Lucio right now. Finds Chips as he flies by.
I like playing with Seagull. Seagull was a good teammate.
Into the well, courtesy of Fleta with some help from Toby. We'll give him some credit for that one. And that is it. Seoul Dynasty
All right.
will take a 2-0 here on Ilios.
All right, to Numbani.
We don't know what they've been
Toby out here booming. That was just a shit show of a map. Just straight up.
For the Dallas Fuel side, they seem comfortable heading into this one with XQC and Mickey one more time.
I'm still sad to this day we didn't get to see the NRG best friend squad with a general run in pro play. I thought they got given opportunities. They just never qualified for anything. I can't remember though.
Get a little bit crazy on the strats from each team. We've seen some pretty bizarre stuff over the years.
We absolutely have, and we saw the
Plays in season 3 is so fun to watch. It's good. It's fun going back and like looking at just like what people did.
Most never happens, and as we look at these teams, it will be Seoul defending first, and Dallas.
Seagull backed out before they actually played. Oh, okay, that's right.
Yeah, that is right.
I do remember that.
Last chance for Dallas Fuel to tie up the series and go to that.
Oh, that's right. I forgot that they only play 4 maps. For people that aren't aware, back in the day in season 1, they only ever played 4 maps. I think it was for scheduling, but you like the game can end 2-2,
Railings die.
right? Did they go to a 5th map if it ended 2-2?
We'll try and make that work whenever possible, and of course, at least on the first point.
They could, but there were what happened was it meant that there was a lot of shitty maps. So they would go to a 5th map if it was a draw. But what would happen is like if Seoul was up 3-0, we would still play the 4th map. Like it's not like the series is over. It's not a best of 5. They would always play 4 maps. So it was a map that like so the one team couldn't win the series, but they could win the last map.
Yeah, they're just gonna get onto the point, force them to fight.
Every map matters. Shut up, Matt. Every map does not, in fact, matter when you play 40 matches in a season.
First resurrection will be thrown his way by Chips High, but they have made it through.
Yeah, it was for all. It was all for map diff.
So can they control the high ground? They have 2 routes. You see, Seoul Dynasty has repositioned on the far side.
Yeah, effect on the flank, doing some damage to Munchkin. Oh, but he gets caught by a Helix Rocket. That turnaround Helix Rocket is dangerous stuff. And
Oh!
40 HP.
Nice.
Trying to get away. Meanwhile, his teammates.
Why aren't you in right now? All I'm saying, Matt, is I played 1 map this series. You know what map that was? The one Dallas Fuel won. Coincidence?
Contest them on the
I think not.
Helix.
I think not. All I'm saying is if maybe they played the Custa Zenyatta, we would have won more games. Probably not, but you know, at least I can say that.
From the Dallas Fuel, they were not phased by the early death of Harry Hook, protecting the Mercy so they could get the resurrection and then play.
This is the last match we're gonna watch of me playing on Dallas Fuel. So we're gonna end this series with me on 100% win rate on Dallas Fuel, and that's how everyone is gonna remember me. Okay? I'm just trying to cement my legacy as a good player.
The time bank.
Is it working? Chat.
So all that room that they made is now no longer relevant as they have to wait for the rest of their players to come back.
I'm convinced. See? Boom.
From the Dallas Fuel.
Yeah, you don't
Do you play Valiant? Yeah, I play. I got traded to Valiant after stage 2 of season 1.
any circumstance. Speaking of players getting picked off, there goes Toby.
Which was honestly the best thing that ever happened to my career.
Front lines here, self-destruct.
And then the worst thing that ever happened to my career when I got subbed out and we went 0-7. But, you know, it was good for season 1. Like, I went from a team, the Dallas Fuel, that was imploding on itself at the end of stage 2 and got it sent to a team, the Valiant, which was like 500 at that point. They were like 10-10, I think. Or maybe 12-8. And then we went on to come finish second in the regular season and almost made it to the grand finals. If somebody, like the Overwatch developers, didn't decide to change Hanzo right before the playoffs and make us play against the London Spitfire, who has Prophet, the best Hanzo in the world. Not salty at all about that one.
They're nearly there. They're going to engage with that self-destruct.
Yeah, and they get XQC with it. How in the world did he get caught?
He was slept by Jayhawk, actually. And they
yikes.
threw the
And Birdering on the Widow, yeah. But Soon was good at Widow in that season. Soon was really good.
the Diva ultimate.
That's a heads-up pick on the side of Seoul, and they are going to win this team fight resoundingly.
Woo!
Payload
Best
is
bomb.
Seoul. Another odd point B stall.
I think in first part, season 1 saw Custa more drunk than him in the game. What do you mean? I didn't even drink back then.
You'll be able to resurrect yourself.
They told me I wasn't allowed to do shoeies on stream. I straight up messaged Hastro when I got signed to the Dallas Fuel. Legitimately one of my first interactions ever with Hastro. When I signed with the team and the contract for the league, I was like, It says on the contract that you can't drink on stream. I'm like, part of my thing is that I drink on stream. Am I not allowed to do that anymore? He's like, no, and I'm like, is it worth it? Is it worth it? I don't know. We still don't know to this day. But then I realized later that I could have just done it and they probably wouldn't have done anything about it. Oh, XQC sad.
Right on top of him. Oh, that poor guy. Nothing you can do. How embarrassing.
Oh, that was a nice pulse bomb.
On XQC. It has not been a good day for this guy on Nimbani.
I mean, that's not XQC's fault at all. He's getting dunked on by these skill shots.
That's,
Oh
I'm
no.
not saying we're rage quit material right there, but it's
Would you like to play against Prophet on Hanzo, Bird Ring on Widow, Mano on Orisa? Yeah, it was. That was scary, and that was like a bunch of shit there.
Target of a sleep dart.
But the playoffs meta was dumb as well. It was Orisa, Roadhog, Diva, double sniper, solo heal Mercy. It was a weird fucking meta. Oh god, that's right. You don't get heals from the Nana.
drop it onto Miro. Gonna chase back the rest of Dallas here. Chips Iron does go down. XQC's
No shoeies in season 1. There were no shoeies in season 1.
Taimu, though, had the better angle with the tactical visor, so Dallas Fuel finally getting a foothold on point.
Oh, there we go.
The launch straight into a wall. Zunba wants to delay this for a little bit. He's going to use the self-destruct.
800 APS? Yeah. Mercy is like dumb strong at this point. That's the main thing.
on this map. And Point C
Who's the best player in the world right now, in your opinion?
take this long to get just through Point B.
Probably leave.
Jaehong will switch over to the Zenyatta now.
True enough.
So I see him trying to take some long-range shots.
Part of me wants to say lip.
Looking at each other.
Oh, run away. Self-destruct
Oh.
coming through. Oh, Taimu gets
Is it bad that I saw him get stuck and I like the first thing I thought was, where's the immortality field?
Skin was actually on the back flank, and he knew that Taimu was trying to run from the self-destruct, and he just got hit by a pulse bomb.
This was simpler times before we had a Baptiste in the game.
a bomb and a smaller bomb. Either way, you're getting hit with a bomb.
Definitely. Either way, does get hit with that bomb. This time it's the pulse bomb that actually gets the finisher, but
And before Brig, yeah.
there from Seoul.
Brig came in what, stage 4? Because that's when the Mickey comment happened, where I flamed Mickey Brig and then we lost to Dallas with Mickey on Brig. In my defense,
Actually, it's been effect on the backside.
I will say Valiant would have had a perfect stage in stage 4 if Soon and Agilities didn't have to take a break for the last week of the thing. We would have had a perfect stage. We were 8-0 going into the final weekend, and Agilities and Soon couldn't play that weekend. So we played Bunny. We played Bunny KSF,
Problem needs that health back. He gets it. They can't lose him.
which were fine players. It's just
Close effect
like
so low.
it wasn't our core.
And a staggered kill on effect would have been really annoying for Dallas to have to deal with.
Yeah,
You take my fave out of this.
lots of ults. We're gonna
Bunny
see
was on LA Valiant, yeah.
works here as both teams at 5 ultimates. A lot is going to depend on this next engagement.
Oh yeah, it's about to get apocalyptic as the Transcendence gets popped.
Bunny's a really nice guy.
There's that self-destruct from
Bunny's honestly just genuinely just a very nice person.
So a good start for Soul after a couple ults used.
Flood is really holding on to this Dragon Blade right now. I thought he'd use it after the trance faded away, but he's still got he's getting healed up by his healer, so no need to use it just yet. They're going to win the fight without it. But
Oh.
the trance not going to come in time.
Yeah, Miro standing strong on the point right.
Bunny doing solid in Valorant right now, yeah.
Chips Iron got the
Do you think hero bans were good? I think hero pulls is good for Al. With how stagnant the meta was getting, I think hero pulls are good. I think they did it well this year, where it's like it's not always hero pulls, it's only hero pulls alternating, because the meta would get very stagnant if they didn't do it. And I know everyone always tries to make the argument, well, why don't they just balance the game? It's like, well, I've been asking them to actively balance the game for 5 years. It's not going to happen. It's hard to actively balance the game consistently. So I think hero pulls is a good band-aid solution to that problem.
50 seconds left. What do you do if you're Dallas Fuel? First, you
Miro
kill
nearly
yeah.
died.
Who's going back in? He got healed. There's that primal.
I still want them to try pick ban. I used to be a big advocate for pick ban, but now I think it would be bad for the game. The reason it would be bad for the game is if you do a pick ban between matches, the games would just become chaotic. They're all strategy. It'd be hard to have this strategy and it would just be chaotic. And the reason is Because the reason pick ban works in games like League of Legends and Dota is because there are multiple heroes or champions that do the same thing, right? So if you ban one of them, there is someone else who can do the same thing. That doesn't exist in Overwatch to the most part. So when a hero ban comes out, it's going to massively change the way the game. What the fuck, Jaehong? It's going to massively change the way the game is played. And like it would just become, there would be no strategy. It would just be like everyone throwing shit at a wall. It'd be like ranked.
But it doesn't stop Dallas from completing, or does it? That was a close one.
Wow, that was incredibly close at the end.
Easy cut.
The payload.
What about pick ban maps? I like pick ban maps. The reason they don't do pick ban maps is the problem that a lot of teams are having is that if you pick ban maps, you need to let all maps be in the pool. And that's a lot of maps that a team has to practice, right? Because remember, teams practice strategies and comps on maps. If you force them to play every single map, that's a lot of things that people have to be prepared for.
It's going to be on the Soul side. Toby on the Mercy, though.
We don't have many maps. Yo, what's up, Kriv?
Good composition to use the Torbjorn with both the Soldier and the Pharah there. There's a lot of long.
It's okay. Once they delete 2 CP, they can pick ban maps.
The Soul sneaking in. We'll see how they can handle it. They're moving cautiously for the moment.
All 6 members coming around the side right now.
That'll do it. Yeah.
Oh, no, Mickey!
Oh, Mickey didn't make it back. Taimu taken out. All right, I think this is gonna be a pretty quick point day.
Finally, the real Valiant carry, Kriv. What do you mean? Kriv would have been nothing without my Mercy heals. Tell him, Kriv. Right?
I mean, it's you kind of roll the dice a little bit, right? Because Fleta, maybe could have.
True. See? Heard it from Kriv.
Munchkin, you don't know if he's
Hope everything's going well, Kriv. Kriv, who you play for next year?
a lot on Dembani these days, so
You can tell. We won't tell anyone.
The upside is, if that is going to work, what happens is, okay, all of a sudden you win that first fight.
I'm going to Custa. Let's go. Hey! Kriv's just following in my footsteps.
Crack the point.
See?
And the more it snowballs one way.
I like it, Kriv. Let's go.
Point A, too, the easier it is to hold on point C. You kind of expect it to go through point B if they take point.
This is the best timeline. This is the best timeline. Get him in there. Am I about to get replaced by Kriv?
But not coming
Kriv's going Custa. He's actually just replacing my job, and I just don't know about it. And this is actually, we're gonna look back at this depressingly when I find out that I've been replaced by Kriv on the desk. UberX is now Uberiv. Send us up and thank you for the gift to sub to Kia, okay? Custa to catering and me to the desk. Catering?
Your spawn is right there. Just go ahead and re-engage with these support ultimates.
Okay.
You know they don't have a Valkyrie.
This is not going well.
Right now, Taimu, though, caught by that self-destruct. Mickey not going to survive too much longer as he's demeched. And that payload starting to get pushed forward now by Seoul Dynasty.
Custa can get Mr. X coffee. I'll leave esports before I have to get Matt coffee.
A very quick attack.
Mickey Diva was so underwhelming. I think the problem with Mickey Diva is that, like, once he got into the league, the way that Diva got played changed, and Mickey never really adjusted with that. He was good back when he was on MV, but I can't remember what happened, but yeah, he struggled. But honestly, it's the same with the entire team. Like, all of Dallas really struggled. Like, Harry Hook and Chipsogen never really hit that peak again. Coco never hit that peak again. Mickey never hit that peak again. Taimu, like, literally a lot of the old guard that made up the great MV team just never really showed that in our.
With the Doom Fist.
Ooh.
That's a kill on effect, though.
Doomfist? In season 1? God damn it. I don't like this.
Blows, but he is getting the damage they need. That's
He was just waiting for them to
At least it's Kooky not coming to the booth. That's true.
popping people
I don't think I would ever recover from that.
immediately afterwards. So a lot of time remaining.
It's just weird to get an aggressive Diva meta, yeah.
Effect forced to recall.
They should sub out Fleta for Weekend. Yeah, they had who did Soul have on the bench at this point? They had Fleta Munchkin, then they also had Bunny, and then they had Wiki. Oh, didn't Wiki join later?
And here comes the Reinhardt.
Oh, that was great.
Mickey on the
Oh,
Zarya now. They're going
effect carry round 2.
Miro. Fleta falls as well, and Seoul forced to back off and reconsider things a bit.
Yeah, they do with the two bigs can't.
Prophet, in my opinion, Roya, is still considered the greatest of all time. I think Prophet is the greatest player of all time. Prophet is not the best player in the world right now because he didn't have a great season, but that's probably because Seoul didn't have a great season, right? This upcoming season will be how good is Prophet, because that team legitimately has the chops to be one of the best teams in the league and potentially beat the Seoul Dynasty. Oh, nice rocket. So it'll be, this real year will really be the distinguishing factor of whether or not Prophet is the GOAT. Oh, that wasn't very good by Munchkin. Is he gonna trance? Yeah, that wasn't a great trance either. Prophet was still an MVP candidate. Yeah, like he's still good. But I wouldn't have claimed him as the best. I think Lip and Leave were both better than him this season.
Misjudge the Deadeye.
I think he thought his rocket did more damage than it did. He thought he could maybe finish Taimu off with a couple.
Prophet still shows he's one of the best this season. Oh yeah, Prophet is by no means bad.
Great news for the Fuel too.
Don't remember any Soldier from this season. Soldier was played a bunch when people didn't really want to play Cass.
So what we're seeing now with Fleta not switching.
The XQC on the Reinhardt, the legendary.
The Space Jam combo of the Graviton Surge. Oh, he is going to switch now. Of course, with the Meteor Strike. Sometimes when you have three.
Only Soul can beat Soul this year. Soul feels like Washington from last year, you know what I mean?
Try for that epic team fight combo.
What is happening?
Straight up win you the map.
Well, speaking of Gravitons, Mickey drops his. Where's the follow-up? Taimu with a kill on the Miro who swapped over to that Reinhardt. That's a lot of charge.
Oh.
Doing a ton of damage on that Zarya.
Oh my god, that's like the epitome of the worst thing. The Mercy just double reses the Reaper Ryan, and then the Ryan just pins away Isaiah.
Actually reverse pinned him too as they tried to come back.
Did Dallas Fuel Scrim as XQC as their primary main take or just their Winston player? He was mainly into play their Winston player, but like everyone got attempts and time to practice on all comps. Because this is back when we were really flexible with comps. Like XQC scrimmed, Coco scrimmed on main tank. It went back and forth. Everyone got to play a bit of everything. But for the most part, XQC was considered like the Winston player, and Coco was more the Ryan Orisa player, if I remember correctly. But as I said, it got a little like finicky with like some of XQC suspensions and some of the stuff that happened. Effects bombs is so beautiful. Literally, if Effect is not in this game, this would have been an easy 4-0.
And this is great. They shouldn't use any more ults right now. Munchkin was in the back flanking, so they can't get
to make up for the lost time. And teams don't do that, right? Like that mindset of how you scrim doesn't really exist as much because it's just too much scrim time that gets lost experimenting, right? And giving everyone a fair chance. At some point, especially if you're going to play the same composition, you should stick to the same 6 players so that synergies can be built, strategy can be built, all that kind of stuff. And that's what a lot of teams have learned. That's why most teams in the league these days stick to a core of 6 with only like 1 or 2 players coming in for very niche heroes. Did Mercy have the full res ult? No, this is Moth meta where Mercy has the double res. So you can't AoE res, but you have the Valk double res.
Wow, very punctuation focused casting at the end of this map.
That's right, we're seeing a great match, period, Noah.
Absolutely, no question.
Effect dies to Jaehong? That's not great. Good trance. This is back in the day when there was nothing that could stop. Well, actually, why did no one play Ana? I'm sorry, it is interesting that no one plays Ana here. Is Discord really strong at this point? Why do I think Discord's at like 40% at this point? Ana heals were nerfed? Yeah, I think there was a reason for it. Either Zen was really strong or Ana wasn't as strong. This is triple res? Nah, you can't triple res. Without 30 seconds. Oh my god. Effect is just straight up carrying. It's kind of crazy. It is kind of ridiculous that Dallas lost these 3 maps. Because Effect actually farmed all 3 of these maps. 50%? I don't know what it was. I know what it was. No Custa. Yeah, I like the way you think. Oh, no. Pretty sure Soul is tilting XQC on purpose. I have no idea. Charlie Niner. I think the fight was probably going to end anyway. They weren't going to win that fight.
A draw will still result in a Seoul
And it was like
Dynasty
the only point I Anna showed up on, yeah.
Still up. 2 maps to
Hard dive was meta. It wasn't always meta.
Dallas needs to
There was some Orisa being played from time to time, but it was a lot of Winston.
Baker at the end of that match.
When did Fitz join Dynasty? Season 2?
There'd be a big ultimate coming in, and because they had the Reinhardt, it was very difficult to find a good angle while they were.
When was the first C9? Well, C9 existed before Overwatch League. C9 was back in Apex Season 2. But I don't think it hadn't become a big thing yet. Like, it was known of C9s, but this is before Twitch chat is spamming C9, C9, lol, anytime someone caps a point, you know?
They had their final chance to stall that one out, try and get a little more flanking, and at least play around the card and use that recall to stall out.
Pressure's on both of these teams. Dallas looking to win the map and tie the series. Seoul.
Harry Hook and Chipster just don't have the backline playmaking potential like Toby. Yeah, I think Toby and Jaehong outplayed the backline in this series.
Got a defensive Pharah
They were like Jaehong's getting so many picks, and also Fletter is just farming.
on that fan favorite on a pick. Dallas about to charge in.
Yeah, poking, seeing which way they're going to be.
Miro also kind of fed this game,
Will be looks like a main street up.
especially on the first map. Miro actually was trolling.
They're just gonna charge
All right,
right in
what's
and
the
wasting no
play
time.
here?
Dallas Fuel.
That didn't seem like a great strategy.
Jaehong just trying to.
Both supports are dead for Dallas, so that's going to be in right
Yeah,
now.
Ryu Jaehong was like, this is back when Jaehong was considered like the GOAT flex support. He was so good.
Barely keeping blood up, has to reload, but there's a Mercy there to help him out.
The counter dive was real. As Dallas came in, Seoul responded by getting the back line and eliminating all the healing.
Excuse me, remote control baguette? Absolutely not.
Strategy. I'm not sure I would have just ran.
When did Chips fade into the background once Custa went to the Valiant? It was pretty much Unco Harry. Yeah. I think they played a lot of Unco Harry. Did Chips play after like stage 2?
in the air somehow.
I think he just disappeared.
Low ground approach instead, going
He's
to
just living his life.
trying to get on the point one more time. Harry
Hey, Salem.
already dead to Miro.
Oh, Flutter low gets the healing just in time. Mickey popped up.
Damn cringe.
Seoul Dynasty.
Oh god. They're gonna hold.
And that may be it. OT ticking away already. And with that team kill, that will be Seoul Dynasty holding Dallas to 0.
I don't think Munchkin's going even with Effect. I just don't think Effect can outweigh the difference across the board.
For map points, but Seoul Dynasty, you know, even with a draw right now, will be taking this set. It has been a close one.
Very close.
Wasn't there some conspiracy with Chips that the community never found out? There wasn't a conspiracy. Like, I'm intentionally not talking about it too much, but like,
Now this
Chips is just living his life. Is the best TLDR I can give him, just leave him be. He just disappeared. He went into the background. There wasn't some grand conspiracy or anything like that.
just one tick
He's
on
just,
the control meter.
I'm sure he's just living his life somewhere.
Every map really is important in this league. It is a tiebreaker if you do have the same win-loss record. These are things that can decide many months from now when playoffs come around.
Effect on a good team, maybe in the GOAT. It would have been really interesting to see a Effect on a fully Korean team. And if he could have been controlled, like his mental could have been controlled on a Korean team.
Well, standard separate time on the Torbjorn. Yeah. All right, I admit I hadn't read through all the year report.
When's the XQC come back to Al? Dude, XQC is gonna buy Al before he comes back to Al.
Very well last time, so I'm surprised to see them go with it.
Honestly, XQC could probably afford to buy an Overwatch League team. Yo, level 1 turret.
And whether or not it works initially, they're going to keep running it. They're going to give it a chance, you know?
They played a very close set today, so it's hard to argue with them. They seem to be comfortable with these compositions. Harry Hook on the Soldier 76, and only a single support
Drop John.
again, and Dynasty playing this long range.
The old Season 1 franchise of 20 million. Yeah, everyone's cashing out now, right? What a good investment. Ah!
The attack off. Fleta.
Oh, that's what. Harry 76 was classic, yeah.
He's just gonna try and go to the far point right now. They know the far is coming in. Same exact approach and same exact.
Sometimes so would play Torb. Yeah, a lot of people used to just, because Mercy used to be able to solo heal, because of the reses, Mercy could solo heal pretty effectively. So there was a lot of flexing from your main supports, or from whoever didn't play the Mercy, right?
Healing. Firing away. At XQC. Gonna go back across. Wow.
Effect, Prophet, Mono, Fury, Jonak, Arc. Yeah, like you could make any team with Effect in it. I think Effect was still one of the best DPS players in the league at this point.
Solo hero on this team, and Harry Hook is gonna find Jaehong in a hallway.
Yeah, attack denied already. And we're nearly out of time here. Down 2-0, we're into OT.
I'd put him top 3. Yeah, I would put him top 3 DPS in the league as well in Season 1.
Self-destruct to use.
Draw.
Back again. There's
2-1.
So, our last match
Think about it. That's how the match ends. That's how the match ends. 2-1. Seoul Dynasty win. It was so annoying.
That Seoul Dynasty, as we said earlier,
Yeah, that's how the series ends. Because it doesn't go to map 5.
You just look at that second map, Temple of Anubis, and how it could have really...
How was Blizz able to sell the $20 million buy-in? Must have been the greatest presentation. Dude, Nate Nanza put something in the water. But he convinced people to buy it. And people bought into it. Like, Overwatch League was supposed to be this incredible thing, and it just never really lived up to it. It was good in Season 1. It legitimately was a good product in Season 1. But I don't know, like... I feel like since Season 1, it's just been, like, less money, less good things. 100% win rate Custa on Dallas, exactly. And now we never watch a Dallas game again. Don't go back and look at any more Dallas games. Stop the that's the series. It wasn't, as I said, it wasn't a crazy hype one, but that was like one of the first matches in the Overwatch League, the first day. As I said, Dallas versus Seoul, and a lot of these players go on to do a lot of crazy things. Dallas is, you know, we talked about crazy things that they did, but I hope you guys found it interesting. I don't, as the history of Overwatch usually is, I don't really like breaking down the games as much. It's just good to have a background filler and just talk about shit that happened back then. I don't know what the next match we're going to look at is going to be. A part of me wants to watch a Houston Outlaws game in Stage 1 when they were good. Before Houston Outlaws became shit for the next 4 years. I kind of want to watch a Houston Outlaws game. Because they were really good. They literally 4-0'd everyone. They had like the original map record. They won like 24 maps in a row or something like that. Outlaws versus NYXL. I can't remember exactly. But yeah, they were really good. So we might go back and watch the Outlaws game because I think there's a lot of history in that. So yeah, that's probably going to be next on the list. Thank you very much for watching. Let me know what games you guys want to watch. Obviously, we're going to go through Season 1 in order of like good games. So let me know which games you guys want to watch in the history of Overwatch. Hope you found this interesting. Let me know if you think I missed something or something else you want to talk about. Make sure to like, subscribe, all that good stuff for all the algorithms. I don't know how it works. Just please do it. Thank you very much for watching, and I will see you guys next time.